it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, May 9th to Saturday, May 15th. So last week, we definitely felt the shift in the air. Most of that was contributed to the fact that we have some personal planets now moving into Gemini energy, that light, airy, very intellectual, logical type of energy that is a very welcome change from all the heavy, low, and slow energy of Taurus. So we did have Mercury move into its place of power in Gemini on Monday. We had Venus move into Gemini just yesterday. So this is definitely picking things up. And realistically, we can't talk about last week without talking about that 555 portal. What an energy blast. So this does open up the next cycle, the next window. It's a next 5-month window where major change has to take place. Again, 5 really does represent adjustments, changes, experimenting, adding to the foundation in which we've already created. So we are going to see a lot of energies really push us to make those major changes that, of course, are being downloaded to us in our mental plane and in our heart space. So this week, we are going to definitely feel more energy shift as we approach the new moon in Taurus on Tuesday. And then we have Jupiter, a heavy hitting planet, switching signs, jumping into Piscean energy. So let's jump into it. Let's see what this week has in store. So some of the Ascension symptoms that we can expect for this week. First of all, last week, doozy, right? Doozy. One of the things that I was not informed about that I experienced very much myself was eye twitching and like your eyes vibrating, and not only the physical vibration of the eyeballs themselves, but actually seeing like orbs and bursts of light. Now, for those of you that have been on this ascension journey and the spiritual awakening journey for longer than just a year, you're likely starting to see the visual effects of being able to see the information grid, or the matrix as they call it, actually in your physical realms. Now, I know that sounds cray-cray. I know it sounds like you might be tripping on acid and having a good time thinking that you're walking around seeing your reality as a manifested computer program, but that's what we're living in. This is a simulation, okay? If you've ever played the Sims game, that is more real than what your physical experience is real as of right now. And if you find that to be a hard concept, I'm contemplating, and here's what I'll throw out to you. First of all, I know I'm jumping around here, but I feel the need to tell you, I am now censored on social media platforms. A couple of months ago, I spoke in a podcast about how the next wave of censorship was going to be focused on psychics and astrologers and ascension guides, because we are bringing real life truth to the social media platforms that is conflicting and opposing the corporate narrative, okay? They want you in a fear-based narrative. When you have people like myself aligned with truth from the cosmos, even, situations where we're able to bring in futuristic information and let you guys know of what it is that we're trying to be working towards here as far as, the collective and humanity moving into new earth, that inspires. That raises a vibration, that raises the frequency. That means that the light is winning. That goes against the corporate narrative. They are evildoers. They are the dark force energies that want to stay in power and want to reign. Therefore, huge censorship is going out to any light workers, to any star seeds, to any psychics, astrologers that are actually bringing in truth to the social media platform. To give you an example, okay, the Astro Tarot forecasts that I put out every single month, I usually boost those posts in order for, thousands of people to see them, because it's good information. I want everybody to be prepared about the stage of evolution that we're in. I actually got rejected. Facebook and Instagram have now said that my ideas, my opinions have the potential to influence a larger population, which I really don't even consider myself to be an influencer, but whatever, thanks for the compliment. that I have such a reach and such an influence on a greater, grander audience that I have the potential to sway other people's opinions that could potentially affect future elections. Okay? I'm going to let you sit with that for a second because I was absolutely flabbergasted. I seen it coming. I'm still shocked that it affected me because there are far more powerful people out there in the world speaking the same kind of truth that aren't shadow banned, that aren't censored, which means that no one is seeing the information that I'm putting out. That's why I created the energy guide. It's a free membership. It's on my website. It is going to be the place that you can go where I'm not censored. I'm also contemplating, I know I'm ranting hard here. You can blame Mercury and Gemini for that. I just want to chat. I'm also contemplating making a private podcast where I can dive a little bit further into some of the topics and themes that are going on in the collective on the global stage and how we can kind of move through that. Now, I want your feedback on this. So if you're finding me on social media, if you're on YouTube, leave a comment below on whether or not you would follow my private podcast on my website talking about, these bigger, larger issues that I can't cover here in these particular little podcasts. If you're on Facebook and Instagram and you're lucky enough to actually see this post, definitely drop me a line anywhere you can or DM me. Yes, that you want me to start this private podcast talking about, topics and themes. I'm going to open the forum for you guys to ask questions so that I can address the concerns of where it is that you're currently at on your own spiritual journey, and that we can talk about this, that we can solidify and unify our community, and that we can have a bigger, broader understanding of what's actually going on here. So if you're listening to this, thank you. If you're down with this idea, if you want me to do this, I need your feedback. I need you to reach out in some way. I need you to reach out to me. Let me know that this is a great idea, that you would follow it, that you'd be a supporter of it, that you would definitely be in alignment to listening to this kind of information on a regular basis. So, with all that being said, let's get back to the Ascension Symptoms for the week. Now, this week, we have to remember that the main event this week is the new moon in Taurus and Jupiter in Pisces. So with that being said, we have to take a look at the planetary alignments that are going on in order for us to see how it's going to impact our physical bodies. So obviously with the moon energy, right? With the moon energy, this is our digestion. And as you kind of will discover throughout this week's energy forecast, we have a lot of information coming in. We have a lot of shifting emotions coming in. We reach a lot of breaking points this week. And that means that we have a lot of information to digest. It means that, and I know that we've had these particular symptoms and ascension symptoms in past weeks, but here's the thing. This is going to be just more than stomach upset. This is more than nausea. This is more than constipation. This is more than just, heartburn and not feeling well in your gut. This is literally like you can feel quivers and vibrations. You can feel the food moving down your digestive tract. The nerves are alive with music, and we can feel every single bodily process that the new information is taking on our physical bodies. So because the moon is very active, because the moon is also a dark moon, we have to expect that things are low and slow and then have bursts of energy, bursts of vibration, bursts of quivering, little spasms. I want you to pay attention to when these actually happen if you're actually eating something and you are experiencing these spasms or tremors while you're putting food in your body. I want you to make a note of what it is that you're actually putting in your body. Maybe it is a food that is no longer in agreement with the light body in which your physical form is trying to take. Again, we talked about dietary changes. We can't eat processed food. We can't eat lower vibrational food anymore. Our light bodies do not support it. We have to get rid of sugar. We have to get rid of stimulants. We have to cleanse the body. We have to alkalize the body. So pay attention to what it is that you're putting in your body, and pay attention when you have these ascension symptoms creep up. What is it responding to? Is it responding to physical food that your body no longer wants to digest? Or is it responding to energetic details of information? Is this, does your stomach drop when new details emerge? When a new emotion comes up, do you feel quivering in your guts, right? Like, we have to pay attention to our physical bodies, our physical forms. Especially at the beginning of the week, because we are in this new moon window, digestion is going, the quivers, the vibrations, little tremors in your guts, definitely going to be more of a focus than anything else. We do have a lot of intensity coming into the mental plane as well. Mercury is a key player. Mercury is in his place of power. He's trying to kind of zoom through and accelerate through all the information, all the details, all the processing that he needs to do, because he's about to go retrograde. He's about to enter into his shadow period, which shuts the mental plane down. And he knows this. So he's trying to jam all of this information in, all of these narratives in, all these new details in, shifting perspectives, shifting narratives very, very quickly, because he knows that he's running out of time. And so this is going to lead to ear ringing, to, I'm going to call it sinus pressure, but it's not even sinus pressure. Don't even bother taking an over-counter medication for it, because it's not going to do anything. It's also feeling like if you could feel, that feeling when somebody's playing with your hair for a long time and then they stop and then it feels like your hair is still moving, that kind of feeling. That's information and light codes coming into the top of the crown, right? And that's affecting the third eye based behind the eyes. We are opening our eyes to a new reality. And when we open our physical eyes to new information and a new reality, our third eye gets open to the information coming in through the crown, through the top of the head. So I want you to be very cautious for that. Uranus is very prominent again this week, which means central nervous system. This is anxiety, restlessness. This is fast heartbeats. This is quivering in tremors in different areas of your body, likely in your knees or in your ankles, especially right side dominant. This is showing us where it is that we're afraid, where it is we're paralyzed in fear to move ahead, to make some changes. But again, that Uranian energy, that electric energy is trying to come in and break up those old programs, that old DNA, that old cellular memory, in order for you to have a clean slate to actually move forward and make the changes with. Now, Jupiter is a key player here too, and Jupiter rules over the knees. He rules, and he's moving into Pisces, which rules over circulation. So we're likely going to have some cold feet. Why do we also get cold feet? Because we're afraid to make change, right? So we want to pay attention to the temperature fluctuations that we're experiencing in our lower extremities. We also want to pay attention to our knees and our joints, the rigidity, the clicking, the grinding that our knees and ankles might be making. We want to really soothe that by salt baths, by putting your feet in the grass, by, connecting with the earth, by, if your feet are cold, add a hot cloth. If your feet are on fire, put them in cold water, like common sense. We want to do the opposite of what it is that our body is doing in order to achieve balance. So we want to watch out for what's going on in our lower extremities. We do have a couple of heart activations where Venus is involved, but Venus, for the most part, she's relying on the new information coming into the mental plane where Mercury is involved. So anytime we have like a head pressure or, ear ringing or, feeling like your hair is kind of moving without it being touched, that is a shift in the mental plane. That is a shift in the third eye and the crown. And you can expect a follow-up with quivering in the heart, racing of the heart palpitations. It might feel like indigestion around your heart space, because that's Venus. She rules over the heart chakra, and she's trying to fine tune and align with the new perspective, the new vision, the new ideas coming in through the mental plane that Mercury is activating for us. So we also can't talk about this week without talking about Pluto. Pluto is very active throughout this week, and Pluto really, really wants to show us where death is absolutely needed in order for, renewal and rebirth to take place. Pluto rules over our lower chakras, so our root chakras, our sexual organs, our hips, that kind of area. Why? Because it kind of keeps us locked into the old, and until our mind, body, and soul is in agreement, we can't move into the new. So there is a lot of lower back tension. There's a lot of hip clicking. So I don't know if you know what I mean when I say that, but it almost feels like our thighs or our hips are dislocated and we're trying to like snap it back into place. And again, because Jupiter moving into Pisces is very focused on the lower extremities where temperature and circulation is concerned, we just want to pay attention to what is being locked up in our root chakras, locked up in our sacral chakras, ruling over, whether or not we are ready to move forward or not. So it is going to be a little bit of a conflicting energy in the physical body. But again, there are many, many things that we can do to ease these symptoms. And again, just a reminder, as uncomfortable as they may be, they are the 100% validation indicator that you need to know that you are on the right path. You are on the right vibration. You are on the right frequency, and that you are doing your part in your individual mission to contribute to the overall success of the collective.